Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aidan Eskelund-Hansen. I go to Lawrence Sinclair Memorial School. I think it's good now? Yeah. My essay is called Honoring Our Languages, Reclamation. We live in a world of contradictory forces. On the one hand, the world is growing with approaches of open-mindedness and renewal. Yet, on the other hand, there is a refusal to grow and a retrograde motion of human rights. But this year is indeed special in that indigenous languages worldwide are being recognized for their contribution to human growth of mind and to a renewal of culture. 2019, the year of indigenous languages, brings us to, wow, an eye-opening, jaw-dropping moment of the times. A year to appreciate how far we have come to seeing not only the sanctity of diversity of life is here on earth, but also to marvel at the human capacity towards the creation and reclamation of language. Values. Values are mutable things. They change as people learn or unlearn past behaviors, beliefs, or attitudes. Looking into the lenses of the past, we clearly see the wrongs done by peoples towards other peoples, the prejudices, hatreds, and insatiable greed that spurred on genocides of not only physical killing, but cultural as well. Love the child, kill the Indian. These acts and beliefs are recognized across the globe today as gross injustices and known as hallmarks of shame onto the nation that participated on the wrong side of history. Values are cruel things sometimes, as history attests. Kill the Indian, but keep the person alive. For God's sake, we will overtake. No one was or is innocuous to the indoctrination of religion. After all, it's for the sake of the soul. In the name of Jesus, it's at any cost, and not to worry about any harm inflicted upon another being, because there is always forgiveness that wipes the slate clean. The abominations that went on at the Indian residential schools stand out as more than dishonor, more so as atrocity upon the religious institutions that educated the Innu, the Dene, the Anishinaabe, the Dakota, and so many more. Strap the hand that speaks your heathen tongue. Wasn't it the strap, the man, the woman? The dumb strap used by the cherished holy people at the time to steer the values, identities, and languages of indigenous people through generation upon generation. In the name of progress, the Indian must die. With our minds together, our tongues in motion, pen to paper, we created a succinct decree to confuse them, divide them, in such a way that they feel they can't exist without it. The Indian Act. It's pretend, you mean? No. It's for real. The Indian Act. The Indian Act. Legislative assistance for Canadian progress. It has brought privileges with accolades, honors at the subdual of a culturally different kind of people, the First Nations. We all can see from our contemporary 2019 principles that the Indian Act is deplorable. Yet it is still here. The effects are here. The dead and dying indigenous languages testify to the act's lethal tenacity. Variable things, variable times. An obsession to fit into a mold doesn't quite hold water anymore, though some things do tend to stick, like gum in the hair. The oblivious chewer, without concern, spits out the dumb, elastic mess onto the splendor of diversity, splendor of indigenous languages, which in the not-too-distant past of the 1950s and so on were looked upon as ugly, worthless weeds that needed to be squirted with some kind of herbicide. Of course, the oncoming maladies of such treatment were overlooked or ignored. With an educated guess, it looks as though the right people ignored the hazardous material information sheet that blurredly read, "Not for use on human language." Indigenous languages, for sure, could not earn the First Nations a dollar in the political climate nor in the business climates of the past. Nowadays, in some sectors, such as education and politics, there are some good opportunities for speakers of Indigenous languages. So, there are the financial benefits that are gleaned upon as a possibility to motivate the people to take time to learn their language. Money turns the world. For as long as Indigenous languages are viewed as low-income talk, then these languages will continue to die. Scholars will urge us to not be so single-minded. It can't be all about money, they might admonish. Languages are worth more than a number with a string of zeros following. Still, currency is a valued necessity, and that's as it is. We live in a world of contradictory forces, archaic values that are clashing against today's humanitarian values, stories that excite, reinforce ignorance, need to be seen as stories that served a purpose for their time. 2019, the year of honoring Indigenous languages, is a pearl of a value, and hopefully we, as creatures sharing this planet with other creatures, can create more pearls. Thank you.